My name is Philip Kedge. I'm the director of the McKenzie Feriend UK network, and I'm a retired police chief inspector. And I've been a McKenzie Feriend since 2012, and my views and opinions expressed in this blog are entirely my own. So today the topic is going to be lawyers versus Cafcass, and I ask the question, how much influence do lawyers actually have in relation to Cafcass, the professional body, and child arrangements? And the argument I'm going to present is not very much, probably none at all. Just to explain to you who Cafcass are. Cafcass are the social services aspect of the court. Their job is to safeguard and promote the welfare of the children, to give advice to any court about any application made to it in such proceedings, to make provision for children to be represented in such proceedings, and to provide information, advice and other support for the children and their families. So they're completely focused on the children and not on the parents. So you submitted your first application. The first thing that Cafcass will do is what's known as a safeguarding or phone call, where they want to talk to each of the parents over the phone for about 20 minutes and just get an idea of what's happening. Your lawyer is not present during that phone call, and what you say during that phone call could be very influential in terms of how the court and Cafcass move forward. So you're on your own. So at that point, what's the point of having a lawyer when you're on your own? When you go to court for the first hearing, a Cafcass officer, before going into court speaking to the judge, will invite you to go into a room with them and have a meeting for about 20 or 25 minutes and ask you all the questions that the Cafcass officer needs to do to establish further information on your case, any interim contact arrangements, safeguarding, and whether they should do a Section 7 report, which is a further report to move on. During that meeting, if you are attending with a lawyer, they do not allow your lawyer to enter into that meeting with them. Incredible. So whilst you are attending probably the most important interview of the entire family court process, your lawyer is sitting in the corridor waiting for you to come out. You then have to come out and try and remember, and it's very difficult because you're under pressure, everything that you've said in that interview and the questions that have been asked, and repeat it to the lawyer so they have some vague understanding about what's going on. So you're paying for your lawyer to sit in a corridor. Now the great thing is, as McKenzie Friends, we are allowed into that first meeting with our client, because Cafcass cannot insist the person to go in there without a friend being present. And because we are friends and we are non-legal entities, we're allowed to go into that meeting with you and advise you and take notes and quietly give advice. So we are fully informed and can assist you. When you go in and speak to the judge or the magistrates are going to listen to Cafcass. Cafcass are going to give their recommendations. Your lawyer may have a chance to speak, but what are the courts going to do? They're just going to follow the Cafcass recommendations because they're the professional in the room. That's the way it works. Cafcass then go off and do their Section 7 report. They might speak to the children, they may speak to the schools or other professionals, and they may do a visit to both parents. At no point in that process, when Cafcass do a Section 7 report, are your lawyers ever consulted or ever present. From what I see, Cafcass just don't care about your lawyer. They just go on and do the work that they do totally independently in their own professional capacity. At the second hearing, at the dispute resolution appointment, they come back with their clear recommendations. At that point, they may discuss their recommendations with your lawyer, and your lawyer may go and negotiate with the other side in relation to those recommendations. But Cafcass aren't going to suddenly change their position or recommendations on the basis of your lawyer arguing with them. That's their professional recommendations, it's on paper, that's their position. So what's the point of you having a lawyer? The best that you can expect your lawyer to do is just to go and negotiate and have chats with the other side. It doesn't take a law degree to do that. You're actually better off taking a mediator or someone like us who are mediators. That's our role. We help to people mediate. We're McKenzie Friends, reduce conflict and to guide and assist people to a resolution at a fraction of the cost for a lawyer. You don't need a law degree or a lawyer beside you at the second hearing. If there aren't agreements, you go to a final hearing. Well, you might say, great, I'm going to have a lawyer, cost of thousands of pounds, so I can challenge Cafcass and their recommendations. Absolutely pointless. Cafcass aren't going to suddenly change their minds because they're being questioned by a lawyer. They've had years of experience of dealing with lawyers, and the reason why they can be so confident in their recommendations is because they use multiple professional tools to come to the judgments they have. They use tools, analysis, assessments, plans, frameworks, indicators. I've just got some examples here. Let me look at this one then. These are tools, assessment tools, which can be used to consider the quality of contact and ability of the parents, carers to meet the children's needs within the contact. They use tools for children aged 1 to 5 years, materials and tools for primary school children, for young people or teenagers. So when they give their evidence, they just turn to the magistrate or the judge and say, well, my analysis and recommendations are based on the tools that I have applied to gain the information. And on the basis of those professional tools, I then apply my recommendation. So what can your barrister do to undermine that? What tools has your solicitor or barrister used to contradict what the Cafcass officer is saying? Has your barrister gone and applied these professional tools on the children? No, of course they haven't. And so they're banging against a closed door repeatedly because behind the Cafcass recommendation is firm, solid analysis which is offered in evidence. So who is the court going to listen to at the end of the day? Might be a couple of tweaks, but almost in every case, essentially, they will base their order on the Cafcass and around the Cafcass recommendations. So in conclusion, I suggest that going to court, spending £20,000, sometimes as much as that, sometimes more, upwards of £20,000 on lawyers to go through the court process, when it comes to Cafcass, is absolutely pointless. In effect, you're just paying someone to go and hold your hand, to speak on your behalf, but their influence in terms of the court process is minimal, if not non-existent. So you're much better off, in my view, having someone like me support you through that process and to guide you at an absolute fraction of the cost. Thank you for listening.